I'm teaching myself how to make a physical pomodoro clock and I have no experience with electronics. For this project, I decided to use an ESP32. Now, you may be wondering why I picked this, and to that, I would say, I don't know. Honestly, it was the same microcontroller that someone else used on the project that inspired this, so I just jumped the gun and I bought a beginner kit. And if you didn't see episode 1, you should definitely go and check that out. It's a really quick watch. So here are my goals for this episode. So let's get started. Here's the main piece, the microcontroller, the ESP32, and on the back are all the pins that we can connect the components to right here. These are the LEDs and they have a long and a short side, which are important. And here's a button which we will use to trigger the LEDs. So I have 3 different types of resistors, and these basically limit how much current can go through so the LEDs don't get fried. Here's the potentiometer. It's basically an adjustable resistor that we can read values from. So my kit came with this really helpful PDF that has tasks and a guide on how to set everything up, and I'll complete some of those tasks and also add on some additional tasks to make sure I understand it. This first task was getting the LED to light up as long as the button is pressed. Honestly, the hardest part of this was figuring out the resistors. The coloring on them is really hard to see, so I had a hard time figuring out which was which. And then I just copied and pasted whatever code they gave me. And it ended up working. So after I understood that last one, I wanted to try to challenge myself to make it a toggle switch. Here's me missing a bunch of semicolons. And it was a little glitchy at first, and then I added one more variable to track the last state of the button. And then that fixed it. And now since I got the code down a little better, I wanted to add something to the electronics, so I added another LED and made it so when one was on, the other one was off. Oh, I forgot to turn them off, but that looked promising. Oops, didn't press it hard enough. So now it taught us how to use the potentiometer. Okay, so I didn't really show this because 1, my head always gets in the way, and 2, it was just a few wires. It tells me to put this into the board, but I feel like I'm using a good amount of force and I can't get it in, and I don't want to break the pins. And as I move this knob, the values on my screen change. And here are the values it's reading as I'm turning it. So the ESP32 cannot actually output true analog signals, it can only turn things on and off, but it uses pulse width modulation to fake this. So instead of lowering the power of the LED, it just turns it on and off really fast, which makes it look like it's dimming it. So the code they gave as an example didn't work, and I think it's because they were on a different version, so I had to actually look up what to change on this, and I did that and fixed it. And here's me showing the changes. Okay, so now that I have the ability to dim, the ability to read values from a potentiometer, and the ability to connect an LED to a button, I want to try putting all of that together. So when I press the button, that turns the LED on and off, and then this changes the brightness of the LED, and I'm gonna see if I can get that to work. Here's me coding that, referencing all my other stuff, and this is just the dimming part with the potentiometer right now, and I'm showing how that's working. And now I'm adding all the code to implement the button, turning it on and off, missing more semicolons and causing more errors again. And here's it all working all together. Okay, now for the fun stuff, printing to a screen. It's pretty simple. It's just 4 wires and it gives you exactly how to plug them in. My breadboard's connections were kind of weird, so I had to just wire them directly to each other to get it to work. Oh. Yay! And finally, I made a simple timer since my end goal is to make the Pomodoro clock. Yes. Yes. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any tips or corrections, please let me know down below because as you can tell, I am no expert at any of this. For the next episode, I'm planning on getting an e-paper display to start creating the UI, and I have some really fun ideas for that, so you guys should stick around. Thank you again, and see you guys in the next episode.